If you are a business leader or a high performer or a top producer, anyone that is tasked with moving things forward in their personal and professional life, you have to not only understand this idea, but you have to implement it and make it work for you today. Hi, my name is Pete Kolash, high performance coach and founder of Operating Excellence. Here is your big idea. When you are experiencing progress in a meaningful direction, a direction that's meaningful to you, everything changes. Now, you and I know this intuitively, right? If you're making progress, it feels good. But the data, the research, the science, the studies that are coming out by the day are so conclusive and so emphatic around the idea that when someone is experiencing progress in a meaningful direction, the entire game changes for them. Their confidence, their conviction, their energy, their excitement, their enthusiasm, the likelihood of them taking better care of themselves, how they're showing up in key relationships, and what I think is most important, their entire level of psychological well-being strengthens and improves when they're making progress in a direction that's meaningful to them. Right? So regardless of who I'm working with, whether it's C-level or entry level, my first and number one priority and focus is helping them to experience progress in a meaningful direction. Why? Because that's that lead domino that, assuming we're successful at knocking over, creates an overwhelmingly positive ripple effect in their lives. The question is how? And the answer is simple. Intention assessment improvement. Okay, intention assessment improvement. Before any major period of time, yearly, quarterly, monthly, weekly, daily, inserting that cadence into your life will absolutely change the trajectory of the progress in your life. No doubt about it. Here's how it works. Let's just take a month for an example. Before any month begins, most people set little to zero intention before the month begins in terms of what it is that they want most, in terms of what it is that they're after. I'm talking about detailed, dialed-in intention. And if you're not setting intention before a period begins, in this case a month, then at the end of the month, there's nothing for you to assess because you set no intention. And if you're not assessing regularly, objectively, and consistently, then your rate of growth and improvement is dramatically reduced. It falls off a cliff. Now, fortunately, just the opposite is true. Before any major period of time, let's say in this case a month, if you set very clear intention across the board, personally and professionally, what it is that you want most in detail, in depth, dialed in, then at the end of that period of time, you're going to have the ability for a very objective assessment. And two things are going to happen. You're going to have seen areas where you made progress, and you can celebrate and acknowledge that progress. You're going to see areas where you didn't quite hit the mark. And you get to ask the question, well, why? How come? What did I do wrong? What could I have done better? And in your assessment, you are going to determine opportunities for growth, areas of improvement that are obviously going to elevate and increase the trajectory of your productivity and progress. It's so simple. But what is amazing to me is how many high-level leaders and top performers that I've worked with that don't have any semblance of that in their lives. They've gritted and grinded and hustled their way to where they are, but they didn't have any sort of system that allowed them before every major period of time, yearly, quarterly, monthly, weekly, daily, setting clear intention what it is that they want. And because they didn't have that, at the end of each of those respective periods of time, there was really nothing for them to assess. And because they weren't assessing regularly, objectively, and consistently, their rate of growth and improvement was dramatically reduced. It was at a level that was dramatically lower than what they were capable of. Don't cap yourself. This is too simple for you not to make it work for you. Let me know how it works.